All right, so this is the first test podcast for Nerd Central. Interesting. I'm going to be very rambly, I can tell you that, and it's going to be very quick, I think. So, think the first thing to talk about, is what is Nerd Central? Nerd Central is going to be a group and website that fellow nerds can go and see content based upon video games, cosplay, comic books, comic book movies, and reviews and things of that nature. Most of this will probably change over the future, as this is just a test and something that will evolve and become hopefully better within the coming weeks and months, and becomes a little bit more serious, I think. First thing to talk about is, I guess, the basic parts of the podcast will be much more in depth, and I think will be a little bit more fun, as I will have more than one person on here, more than me, and um, I think that the first good test podcast would be a movie review and something that is actually recently out on DVD and Blu-ray and digital HD and all that good stuff, is The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Now, like most people, I think that this actually was surprisingly decent. Um, when it was first released in theaters back in early May, I think May 2nd, I heard the initial reviews and I was put off by it. A lot of film websites that I usually check and want to, hear their opinions said that this movie actually didn't do so well and, didn't live up to the hype. That put me in sorrow, I don't know, a sorrow mood about it. I was hoping that this would be really good, and hearing, about, what they're doing with Sinister Six and a Venom spinoff and all that good stuff. Hearing that Amazing Spider-Man 2 kind of sucked, kind of made me feel unhappy. So recently, I picked up the Blu-ray and I just recently watched it, fresh in my memory. And surprisingly, I was actually expecting worse. Um, I thought that it was actually going to be garbage, like worse than Spider-Man 3 garbage. Sam Raimi Spider-Man 3 to be more specific. Um, but I was actually surprised. The narrative itself, I thought, was fairly cohesive. The only thing that I thought that was tacked on was the Harry Osborn parts of the film. To me, that didn't feel legitimate. Jamie Foxx as Electro, um, okay, I can kind of see how he could be a villain, and I actually kind of liked how, when Spider-Man saved him in the early part of the movie, he kind of became obsessed with him. That was something that I wasn't expecting. However, um, the the Harry Osborn parts of the film, at least when he becomes a little bit more mad and goes a little crazy because of that sickness he has, to me that felt rushed. I would have preferred to have seen that happen in maybe the third film, or even in the spin-off film with Venom or the Sinister Six. To me, that would have been a better play, or a better tactic that they could have used. Overall, though, it looked very beautiful, and the cinematography was gorgeous. And now, like I now when I was thinking about this movie, a lot of people, the average moviegoer, didn't know that Gwen Stacy was going to die. I, following some of the comics and stuff like that, knew that she was going to die, and excuse me, I was very surprised on actually how she died. I was expecting what happened in the comic book, where, for spoiler alert, if you haven't read the comic book or intend to, you can kind of skip forward a little bit. But Spider-Man, the Green Goblin, I believe the Green Goblin again throws her off this top of this high building, and Spider-Man saves her by shooting a web at her foot. However, the momentum of her suddenly stopping snaps her neck. At least that's how I remember it in the comic book. Now in the movie, she's falling through the clock tower there, And again, the Green Goblin kind of let her fall, but she was falling at stages because, you know, the Green Goblin would then throw a bomb and destroy the platform. And at the very end, she just goes. And what Peter Parker Spider-Man does is that he, again, shoots the web. However, it catches her at the midsection, and then, like, it it looked like it snapped her back, and then she slammed on the onto the concrete. But that was a little bit, maybe a little more subtle, I think, that he didn't do the neck snap, because I'm sure that if he did the neck snap, that would be a little bit more graphic. And the way that I saw it in the film looked like she could have survived, but again, she just flat out died, and that's supposed to be a very momentous change in Spider-Man and Peter Parker's hero career. And I thought that they did it quite well. However, I would have preferred it to stay a little bit more true to the comic book, and that being maybe move towards the center of the movie, and then if they wanted to have the Green Goblin parts, maybe make that more of like the end of the third act kind of a thing. It'll give Spider-Man more reason to become Spider-Man. Give Peter Parker the reason that he can't just do his best. He has to do more than his best. He has to become something more than a man playing a hero. He has to become the hero, a superhero for that fact. So that was super short. I'm going to conclude there. So again, this was just a test little review / podcast. This will probably be uploaded to YouTube, or if this ever gets uploaded, most likely YouTube, and then I'll have links to our Facebook and Twitter and Instagram for Nerd Central. Again, Nerd Central is a cosplay and nerd and comic book haven, if you will. This is going to be something that will grow over the months and weeks and things of that nature. Right now, our Facebook and most likely our Twitter are going to be a little bit more active. I believe Instagram as well. We are working on a website, and things of that will be updated quite regularly. Sometimes Facebook kind of lags behind just because there's a couple of us, and we all work and stuff like that. So things of that. So just keep an eye out for that. And again, I never introduced myself, which would have helped. My name is Eric. Everybody just calls me Staz, so I'm Staz from Nerd Central. And from that fact, I will end it there. Thanks again, and goodbye.